Welcome to the Improve and Have Fun podcast. My name is Paul V. Perez, and on this podcast, I work on improving myself while having fun along the way with the hopes of encouraging you to do the same. And this is an irregular segment that I do every now and then. It's weird stories, where I find weird stories around the web, or most of the time I just find it on Drudge Report. I save them and I go ahead and I discuss them here on this podcast. And one might ask, how is it that you're improving yourself by talking about weird stories? This is a podcast, and this is not a statue. This is a recipe, so you can always change up the format, do different things. And weird stories, like I said, they make me laugh, they make me smile, they make me just appreciate life and question reality. And I believe anything that you do repetitiously, you're going to go ahead and build skill in doing so. So this is a thing that I enjoy doing. This is helping me with my public speaking. I mean, if you want to go ahead and do it into this self-improvement realm that I kind of have titled the show. And let's go ahead and get into it. The first story is reported on OregonLive.com. This is dated the 22nd of March, and it's strippers delivering food. Let's get into this. And the name of the writer is Samantha Swindler. I don't know if that's real. But Portland finds a way, close down her strip clubs, and dancers will do delivery. That's what's happening at the Lucky Devil Lounge at 633 Southeast Powell Boulevard. The club was forced to close with Governor Kate Brown's mandate to stem the spread of coronavirus. But the order does not allow food establishments to offer takeout or delivery. Like I said, this was right when things were kind of getting rolling. This is like near the end of March. And thus the club owner, Sean Bolden's newest business, Boober Eats, the home delivery service in which a pair of scantily clad strippers will deliver hot food to your door, started as a joke Bolden posted on social media. When people began seriously inquiring about orders, Bolden saw potential. So while the rest of Portland was hoarding toilet paper and pasta, he brought out one local store's stock of pasties. From 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., Boober Eats is offering a full menu from the Lucky Devil Lounge at the same prices. Delivery rates are generally $30, but vary depending on the distance from the lounge. Now going to the bottom of the article here, the last 3 paragraphs. About 25 dancers have started doing Boober, Bolden said. Even with deliveries, many of the dancers doing Boober runs have gone from making several $100s a night, earning close to minimum wage. Losing this job is devastating, said Kiki, who started her first Boober shift Friday. For the majority of us, it's been an almost complete loss of income. I'm here supporting my community and trying to keep maintaining an income flow as best we can. Bolden said he's trying to employ as many people as possible during the club's shutdown. The kitchen staff are cooking orders, security guards are driving dancers to deliveries, bartenders are now working the phones and maintaining social media. It's crazy, Bolden said. We mutated our one business into a totally different style of business. And you can order from Boober Eats online or by calling 503-206-7350 for the folks in the Portland, Oregon vicinity. And strippers doing food delivery. Weird. The next article, supermarket destroys food after woman coughs on it. This is reported by Pittsburgh at pittsburgh.cbslocal.com, and the date of this article is March 25th, 2020. In Luzerne County, a Pennsylvania supermarket says they were forced to destroy more than $35,000 in food after a woman's coronavirus prank involved intentionally coughing all over it. On Wednesday, Garrity's supermarket in Luzerne County says the woman intentionally coughed on the fresh produce, a small section of the bakery and meat case. The supermarket's co-owner said he believes this was an attempt at a very twisted prank. We will not take any chances with the health and well-being of our customers. We had no choice but to throw out all the products she came in contact with. The supermarket's co-owner, Joe Fasula, posted on Facebook. The store has not calculated the exact loss, but believes it will be more than $35,000. I am absolutely sick to my stomach about the loss of food. While it is always a shame when food is wasted, in these times when so many people are worried about the security of our food supply, it is even more disgusting, Fasula said. The store said the police were contacted and they believe the woman is not infected with the coronavirus. The woman will be tested, and the district attorney's office says they are deciding whether or not to file charges. The only silver lining in this travesty is that it gives us the unfortunate opportunity to test our protocols and demonstrate how seriously we take our safety, the owner said. Not cool doing pranks when people are sensitive about a topic, definitely. Depending on the prank. On to the next story. Cops break up orgy. This is on thesun.com, and this article is dated once again the 25th of March 2020. Spanish police have arrested 8 people who they accuse of blatantly flouting the coronavirus lockdown by organizing a drug-fueled orgy. Undercover cops in Barcelona raised the raunchy revelers as they prepared to indulge in a group sex session at a holiday apartment during the country's strict COVID-19 curfew. One of the partygoers was said to have tipped off detectives after feeling guilty about breaking the lockdown rules. The sex party guests are said to be fined for breaching government orders to remain at home and avoid socializing. More than 31,000 people were fined for flouting Spain's coronavirus lockdown rules in the first week after they were introduced last Saturday by PM Pedro Sanchez. Another 350 have been arrested nationwide, Interior Minister Fernando Grande Marlaska has revealed. Most citizens have applauded the way Spain's lockdown is being policed, but some others were criticized for being too forceful. Now, getting to the bottom of the article, last week police stopped a couple caught having sex in a parked car in the street in Madrid neighborhood of Villaverde. They were told to go home after claiming they could not get intimate with each other where they lived because they shared with too many people. People want to get outside. People want to have relations. I think that is definitely extreme in terms of arresting people, even if they're just spotted outside. But I'm sure that by this time now, I do not know this as a fact, but I'm sure that Spain has alleviated some of the restrictions, definitely. But we are definitely still in a lockdown, and people are still getting sick, unfortunately. It seems like a second wave is happening now. I'm doing this in July, and in the U.S., the numbers are going bonkers, definitely, in some states, not in all states. But let's get to the next story. AI reads minds, artificial intelligence, changing the way that we will live in the future, that's for sure. This is on newscientist.com. The date of this article is March 30th, 2020. The headline being, Mind Reading AI Turns Thoughts into Words Using a Brain Implant. Technology crazy style. An artificial intelligence can accurately translate thoughts into sentences, at least for a limited vocabulary of 250 words. The system may bring us a step closer to restoring speech to people who have lost their ability to because of paralysis. Joseph Mackin at the University of California, San Francisco, and his colleagues used deep learning algorithms to study the brain signals of 4 women as they spoke. The women, who all have epilepsy, already had electrodes attached to their brains to monitor seizures. Each woman was asked to read aloud from a set of sentences as the team measured brain activity. The largest group of sentences contained 250 unique words. The team fed this brain activity to a neural network algorithm, training it to identify regularly occurring patterns that could be linked to the repeated aspects of speech, such as vowels or consonants. These patterns were then fed to a second neural network, which tried to turn them into words to form a sentence. Now getting to the bottom of the article here. Mackin says 250 words could still be useful for people who can't talk. We want to deploy this in a patient with an actual speech disability, he says. Though it is possible their brain activity may be different from that of the women in this study, making this more difficult. Sophie Scott at University College London says, we are a long way from being able to translate brain signal data comprehensively. You probably know around 350,000 words, so it is still an incredibly restricted set of speech that they're using, she says. I just finished listening to Yuval Noah Harari's 20 Lessons for the 21st Century, and he talks a lot about how algorithms and AI are going to make our lives a lot easier. And I found it very interesting. It's a future book to do like a biggest takeaways episode from, where I will go into a book that I've read and I'll pick out like little parts that I found very interesting and kind of break it down from my point of view. But let's go ahead and get to the last story here. Now, this is a story that was relevant at the time. I don't think it's relevant anymore because you can still find things. But nations running out of frozen pizza. What's this? Now, once again, I've been to my local supermarkets and things. You can find frozen pizza now, but there was a point in time in the middle of April where we were running out of frozen pizza. This is reported on popculture.com, and the date of this article is April 17th, 2020. The coronavirus pandemic has seen its impact hit nearly every area imaginable across the world. Perhaps the largest industry to see its demand climb as high as ever are grocery stores. From megacorporation supermarkets to local grocery shops, stores are struggling to keep many items in stock. First, there was the toilet paper craze that settled over in the early going of the outbreak. Then it was the cleaning supplies, from sanitizing wipes to hand soap. A new hard-to-find item now happens to be frozen pizza. Stores across the states are finding it hard to keep the easy-to-cook products in stock. Now, I will say that there was also a meat shortage, like for a week or two, and still to this day, I find it super hard to find either hand wipes or Lysol, and we're in July. So I just wanted to make it. You can find hand sanitizer, I can find gloves, I can find masks, but Lysol or, like I said, hand wipes, good luck. In my New Jersey area, definitely. Newman's own president and COO, Dave Best, told Adweek that his company's sales are 190% since the start of the pandemic. It shouldn't come as a surprise that this particular food item is seeing its demand on the rise. As everyone remains in quarantine, food has become a difficult thing to keep aplenty. So that is it for this episode of Weird Stories. If you have any thoughts or comments, please do so below. And I actually like those better than subscribers and even hitting the bell and all that other stuff. I'd rather start a conversation, and I want to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you're hearing this in the podcast form, you could find all my content at improveandhavefun.com. My name is Paul V. Perez. Once again, I'll catch you on the next one. Boom.